He's ready.
We don't know who that is.
Okay.
I'd like to call the National Government Board of Education to order. I'd like to Sharp, lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move we adopt the agenda, please.
Motion by Mr. Sharp. So have a second. Second by Mr. Diddy. All in favor say aye. All opposed likewise. Motion carried. I'll entertain a motion to approve a board minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Silver, second by Mr. Diddy. All in favor say aye. All opposed likewise. Motion carried. Recognition, Dr. Kelly Holiday.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple of things I need to bring to our attention for correction in the minutes, and I was trying to get it out, but I couldn't get it in time. But there are a couple of things, 4 things as a matter of fact, that I think we need to correct in the minutes.
Okay, Ms. Bullock, go ahead.
Under the board minutes, they are grammatical for the most part, but under number 2, we need to correct the grammar to approve as not, to approve a presented. And under your chair's report, there needs to be a correction for Dr. Jackson's name. It has Tony with a lowercase letter. And we need to correct that to his professional name, Dr. Anthony Jackson, for the minutes. And in the work session minutes, who made the motion actually to adopt the agenda? In the statement, we have Richard Jenkins, I think, but then where she puts approved by, she has Chris Bissett, and I think that needs to be corrected as well.
Any other?
No, sir, that's it. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I see a Matt Foster on the screen. Who is this?
He is our recognition for this evening.
Okay, I just didn't know. Thank you.
No problem.
Dr. Kelly.
Okay, we have one recognition for tonight. We held a school district logo contest at the beginning of March and had 35 entries from our high schools across the district. Students were able to submit a logo for the new Nash County Public School rebranding, and our winner is Matt Foster, who is a senior at Southern Nash High School. He's on the line with us today. We have a picture of his logo, I think, that we can pull up. So the color that Matt chose was blue for the logo. We did adjust it just a little bit so that it was different than some of our school logos, but our new logo was designed by Matt Foster, senior at Southern Nash High School. We have got a $100 gift card that was donated by First Financial Group to an art supply store that we'll be sending to Matt, and we'll be sending him some Nash County Public School paraphernalia with his logo on it as well. Matt, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, ma'am, but thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Also, congratulations in order, man. I understand you going to the East-West football game.
Yes, sir.
Great honor. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, are you in relation to the coach over there, Southern Nash?
I'm not. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Great job, man.
Good job, Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Congratulations,
Great
sir.
job.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate it.
It's a great family you got.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Approval of consent agenda. Only thing on the consent agenda was K3 class size update. Listed next to it. Business item. Communication, planning, and engagement, Dr. Carolina.
Good evening, Chair Lamb, members of the board, Superintendent Ellis. I am here before you tonight to present two donations that were received in the total amount of $2,825.24. These donations were for Swift Creek Elementary School. They received a donation from Calvary Baptist Church, led by Pastor Brandon Dees, who donated $625 to be used for the Backpack Buddies program at Swift Creek. Middlesex Elementary School received a couple donations from Middlesex High School Alumni Association in the amount of $2,200.24, with $1,200 to be used for the library and $1,000.24 to be used for the rewards program. The superintendent recommends approval for donations as presented.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the donations with much thanks.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Davis, second by Ms. Washington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, likewise. Motion carried. Policy proposal, Dr. Carolina.
Superintendent Ellis, Board Chair Franklin Lamb, and members of the board, I have 15 policy proposals that were presented at the April meeting. These policies have sat for 30 days, and the Nash Rocky Mountain Board of Education Policy Committee recommends the acceptance of the policies for approval.
Any discussion? Entertain a motion to adopt the policies. So moved. Motion by Mr. Sharp,
Second,
second by Ms. Washington. All in favor,
Ms.
say aye.
Chambers.
Oh, Ms. Chambers, I'm sorry. I'm not zooming too good.
I'm not showing you my head too good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, likewise. Motion carried. Policy proposals, first reading.
We have 6 new policies from the North Carolina School Board Association that the Board of Education Policy Committee recommends the acceptance of for a first read.
Okay.
Move to receive for first read.
Motion by Ms. Bullock,
Second.
second by Mr. Sharp. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, likewise. Motion carried. School school system name change update. Information only.
I've got a couple people who are going to be joining me tonight to go through some of the items that we have worked through or completed for the school system name change. Our recognition was the start of that. We have got, as I shared with the board previously, we've got a committee that has been working through keeping track of these changes and documenting them. The first item of business was the logo, because there were not a whole lot of things that could be done until that logo was determined. So thanks to Matt Foster, we have got a new district logo. The district colors are going to be changing as well. They will be primarily blue. We did add a coral and a silver color as accent colors. The district has also the communications department has started the process of rebranding with some new social media accounts. They actually won't be new accounts, they'll just be renamed on July 1st. So our Facebook page will become Nash County Public Schools on July 1st. Our Instagram page will be Nash CP Schools, and our Twitter will follow as that with Nash CP Schools. You've got a proof of Dr. Ellis's new business card. We've had Key Printing working on that. Key Printing also did the logo, the official logo, in putting it in a format that we could use on all of our digital and print materials. And they did that free of charge. So we have not had to pay Key Printing yet. Now, as we start ordering more print materials, there'll be a cost involved in that. But the cost on everything that you see here on this slide has really just been in employee hours. I have been in contact with Nancy Black at the North Carolina School Board Association, and just to talk through the logistics of the name change and what it would mean to our online policy manual. And she and I talked through some things. They're actually going to do all of these changes free of charge as well for us. They're updating the logo on the actual online manual where you search for the board policies, as well as the colors on that. There are several policy text that will be that will need revisions. They're actually going to go through all of our policies, identify the policies that mention our Nash Rocky Mount Public Schools website, and they're going to be changing that URL in those policies. The district name is mentioned in some policy text, so they'll be updating those. And then the header and the footer on all of our policies needs to be updated. So as soon as they get those revisions, the text of the policies to me, I will be sending them to Ms. Bullock so that she can bring them to the policy committee for review. And Danny Plyler is on the Zoom, I think, and he's going to go through the website.
Good evening, Chairman Lamb, board members, and Dr. Ellis. I want to begin just by talking a little bit about the District Web Council that began in November of 2019. It consists of some central office staff as well as a school webmaster, each from an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school. Our first activity was to survey parents and school system staff to talk about what are the different things that they look for most when they go to the district and school sites. We use that survey data to create new site maps for what would be on our district site and school sites. And by that, I mean, when you hover over the links at the top, what pages come up next, what is listed under particular pages and under categories. And we did our best to look at what the parents and staff told us were the most important things And our goal in mind as we go through this process is to get the information accessible as much as possible within 2 clicks on the site. As we were looking at our current site, I've been here a little over 6 years, and we have changed web hosts at least, I want to say 3 times. And each time we've done a migration, which means that we took page for page and just had them move pages as they existed into their particular website. After looking at that, we determined that there was stuff on our, particularly content on our district site that probably did not need to be moved over. So we are not doing a migration this time. We are starting from scratch, page by page, and taking on the things on our site that is most current and up to date. So with that in mind, webmaster training sessions have begun. Each school has 1 webmaster, some more than 1, depending on the size of the school. And by the time we are live in July, the administrators will also have edit access. So all principals and assistant principals will have edit access to their websites as well. There have been 3 rounds of training. We started the first one on April 22nd. I'm leading those trainings. I start with the elementary webmasters in the mornings, and then I do the middle school and high school in the afternoon. That ends up being around 20 to 25 in each session. That was as many as we felt like we needed. We could do at one time to make sure that it was efficient and that they each got the support that they needed. Currently, we've had 2 sessions. I have 1 more coming up this week to finish that up. I'm doing 1 training with the district webmasters, and those are folks in each department who are assigned to take care of the pages for their department. Currently, estimations probably around 400 hours so far has been put into the new website creation. That's for district as well as the schools. Our plan is to train the administrators in May or June. So we have month of May and June to get it ready for our July 1st go live date. A couple things with Edlio, our new provider, that I'm pretty excited about. They have a web app that can be downloaded on mobile devices. Parents then can choose the school or schools. If they have children in multiple schools, they can choose what they want to receive alerts from. And then the webmaster or principal can push out, whether it be news features, events from the calendar, messages they'd like to send out, that can be sent directly to the phone app, which I think is a neat addition for our new site. And also email newsletters. Again, principal or webmasters can take the things that are listed as news items or events and create a newsletter straight from the website, picking out those pieces that they want and send that out in an email feature. It works very quickly. And I think it's, just a good idea. I know specifically in elementary, they do a lot of newsletters, and I think it'd be a great way, an easy way to combine what's being done with the website and with what they're already doing. The link there on the page is to the new website URLs. Those are not active right now. They will be active on July 1st. We are using temporary URLs to do the edits and updates right now, and we will switch over to those new URLs come July 1st. And wanted you to see what our new district site looks like. That's the next slide there. If you'll go ahead and change that. We have our new logo up. New name, Nash County Public Schools, and our new color scheme. So I want to give you a chance to look at that and see. I think it's nice and clean. The buttons there go direct. Those were the things that from our surveys we found were the most important, the ones that people specifically needed the most. And so we chose those that are easy to get to, and then of course the navigation across the top. Any questions?
Danny, from now to June or July, what are we using? The existing site?
Yes, sir. The existing site will stay live, and we will make the transition on July, probably at 12:01 a.m. on July 1st.
Thank you.
Any other questions from board members?
I was going to ask something of Rod real quick.
Okay.
Just excuse me if this is way off and to the right, but on the logo, is there some type of protection for our logo, or has there ever been protection for it?
mean, you can certainly copyright it. The issue we typically see is the other way around, where a school has grabbed some college logo that was copyrighted and used it, without permission. But you certainly could copyright it to the extent that you would be, or copyright it, to the extent that you would be concerned about that. But my guess is that most school systems don't.
Any other questions? Thank you. Human resources.
There's actually some more sections, and Shannon.
Yes, all right, no problem. When it comes to technology, there are several tasks that need to be completed. And with that being said, we have implemented so far was to purchase a new domain for our district. And what that means by external domain is that is who we are in the cyber world. So we are currently known as nrms.k12.nc.us. And our newly purchased domain is ncpschools.net. All right, and this domain will serve as our gateway to our website, and it also will be used as our email addresses. All Nash Rocky Mount employees will have a new email address ending in this new domain, which is ncpschools.net. So although employees will receive a new email address, then their content won't be lost at all. This also applies to their Google Drive and the content that that's in their entire Google suite. As far as our internal domain, we've worked with a few vendors to allow them to come in and just look at and view our current network and the infrastructure. They have offered some recommendations of how we should move forward in regards to building our new internal domain. And one of the major tasks that we have is we have to totally rebuild all of our servers, from ground up. And that's going to take some time. So some of these servers include some things like DNS, DHCP, MDT, and many more servers. I can go into all of them. So in other words, these servers are the servers that govern our internal network. These are servers that put rules out there, as in what the computers can do, what our network can do, and blase, blase. So because we are changing our internal domain, that means that all of our Windows devices across the entire district will need to be re-imaged. So that means that all the teacher laptops, the student laptops, as well as our staff laptops will need to be collected at some point, during the summer and re-imaged. So our plan is to work with the administration and personnel about when and how to collect those devices. And that's all I have right now. And also with the approximated time that we have used thus far, and I'm underestimating, is about 500 hours year to date. This is a very big task for the technology department. If you would really see the list that we have, you would be devastated. But we're gonna make it do what it do, and we'll be ready by July 1st. All right, Mr. Litkey, I think, are there any questions before I move on?
May I ask the question?
Yes.
Does this mean your staff can handle this, or do you need to consider somebody part-time joining your staff?
That's a really great question. In regards to the internal domain, I'm hoping that I can use like a remainder of my budget to hire a vendor to do the work. It is not that we can't do it, but the time that we have to get it implemented and I need all hands on deck. So there is, I put that in my budget of what the approximated cost would be in order for us to be ready by July 1st.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Will that make a big difference? I noticed on the external domain here has NC2S. The S is capitalized on that. Would that make a difference? I don't think so. Will it?
Not at all.
Okay. Something
Yeah,
else I saw a smaller case.
Yeah.
S.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not camp. Yeah, it's not case sensitive at all.
Gotcha. I didn't think it was.
Mr. Silver, thank you for asking that question.
I can't hear you.
I said 2 questions, but you asked the first one. Thank you for asking the first one regarding case sensitivity. The other one was email transfer. Will it migrate those automatically?
Actually, we look at it as migration. It's actually going to be the same exact email inbox. It's if you can imagine where you live at right now, you got an address to your house. You're just going to get a new address to your house while all the content in your house stays the same.
So if someone emailing me through the old address, so automatically those can move.
Yes, sir. So basically what you're going to have is 2 addresses for a while. We're going to leave that open in about 6 months. So you will receive email from both addresses, the old as well as the new one. As well as the old and the new one. Okay, there we go. The old and the new one. So you will receive emails from both inboxes to one inbox, sorry. Both emails to one inbox.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lickett.
Good evening. Here's an update on where we are with changing vehicle names and logos. We took the Nash County Public Schools logo and then added the wording at the bottom. And we'll have one sticker that we'll put on the vehicles that will replace the round logo and the individual words. So it'll make adding and taking off a whole lot easier. With the fleet vehicles, child nutrition, maintenance, technology, there's approximately 108 vehicles and trailers. The cost for those logos is going to be $1,800 and about 216 labor hours. Yellow buses with 145 buses, cost is $1,840. We estimate 435 labor hours. Activity buses, 28 of those are going to be just a little under $900 with 84 labor hours. And the biggest cost is all the vehicles will have to have their DMV title corrected and registration corrected to reflect the new name. So with 281 vehicles, we're looking at $5,600 with about 140 labor hours factored in for that. We've already started taking the names off of the buses, and we've ordered the new names for the buses, and we've got 2 samples of the logo. One is approximately 9 inches by 9 inches. The other is about 5 by 5. And there's some pictures on this slide which show the same vehicles with the small logo if we were to put it on the fender well, and then the larger logo if we were to put it in the door. So just waiting on a decision where we want to put it. And the total cost for everything, we're looking at about $10,200 and 875 labor hours. Any questions?
Has there been any thought about repainting the activity buses?
I would love to do it. Probably talking about $5,000 a bus to do that.
You got dollars for that?
Could you speak up a little bit? I can't hear the question.
Somebody that said, have we thought about repainting activity buses?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Well, you know, the only thing that concerns me, our activity buses, about 3 different color schemes used in all of them. It looks like we, you know, down the road, I know cost prohibitive now, but it looks like we could eventually get everything painted the same color.
Yes, sir. The ones that are the burgundy and the gold are actually decals. So those would be a little less expensive to change the color across the board on them. The ones that are the teal and the blue, those are painted and clear coated. So So that the whole bus would need to be painted first and then with the logos from there.
Some of them, they were the most needy ones, wouldn't it be, because they're the oldest, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Mr. Davis has some, some information.
Good evening. If you look on the left of the screen, that will be a rendering of the new LED sign that will be at the new central office out front, removing the older one. Transportation, regional data centers, child nutrition, teacher resource center, and the warehouse will also have to receive new signage at a total cost of $21,032. Any questions?
All the signs digital?
Sir?
Are they all digital?
No, sir. The only LED message board will be at central office.
Any other questions from other board members?
The superintendent shares this information with the board for information only.
Human resources, Mr. Perry?
She's not on. She's not on.
Everybody. I entertain a motion to approve the personnel recommendations that we have seen in closed session. So moved.
But they're actually approving it, so you're good.
Motion by Mr. Sharp. Do I have a second?
Yep, no problem.
Second by Ms. Bullock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, likewise. Motion carried. Administration and operations, Dr. Ellis.
This time, Mr. Davis will present to the board the design services contract.
Turn this over to Mr. Kisner.
So Shannon and I were kind of tag team this. I'm just going to start off to say that we negotiated with Oakley and Collier. You should have got an email from Mr. Malone to start with their original bid proposal that the building committee was not exactly happy with and wanted us to go negotiate. I'm gonna hit the high points. The original contract was not an all-in, all-inclusive contract, and it was somewhere in the neighborhood of about a 7.5% fee. So after negotiations, we have an all-inclusive, all the expenses inquired with the school minus the building fees, which is required by law. We pay the building permit fees. Everything is included. We've got the contract down to about 5.8% fee schedule. We emailed that out to you Saturday for your review. So without beating that, I'm just going to kind of stop there and ask any of the board members, do you have a question about that for myself or Shannon?
Sharp.
Mr. Sharp, I'm sorry, I was watching the screen. I'm sorry. No problem. Hey, I appreciate all your hard work and due diligence, what you guys did, negotiating that, but I do have a major problem, okay? The first problem is when we sat down with the contract, it was 4 of us, I assume, and went through the process, and then looking for cost and figure what it's gonna cost us. We awarded it to Oakley based on what they're saying. They got commitments to the area, they knew the people, they were concerned about the district, they had ties with the community. What I don't understand, if you got ties and all that, you reduce that contract by 1.7%. That's over $300,000. Actually, it's 305, 07, 221.
You got to include the geotech, not their fee. So their fee is down to $1,080. Okay, my question is, and I appreciate what you guys did, but I got a concern with Oakley that they didn't bring a valuable, and I know from a business negotiating side, that's what you do. But when you come into the building and says you got ties and commitment to the area, you feel comfortable with what you're doing here because your responsibility in the area. But yet, what was your number? I'll use your number. How many? 1,080,000. 1,080,000. So that's a big difference. So I have a concern. Why? How? So how? Why didn't they just come up with that in the beginning, or at least share with this board a realistic figure instead of, to me, it's overly populated. So one of the things we did when we spoke with them is we said they don't need to take all of the hits themselves. So the fee comes down, but you got to keep in mind that fee is not all inclusive for Oak. So they have their fee of design, but you also have to go out for structural, electrical, geotechnical, civil surveying. So what they did is they went back and reached out to all of those subs that they have to use and pretty much price negotiated them down to get within where we wanted. So it looks like it's all inclusive to them, but they really went out on our behalf to those vendors to get the fee down. So it's not just them. Right. My problem is, and I understand that, you knew you had to do that in the beginning before you brought this to the board. So when you tell me they didn't necessarily do all their homework to present realistic numbers to this board. Because, and I know you can't, but that's my issue I have with Oakland, that they didn't do that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but Hike came in with the 6%. They just said, they shouldn't have said it, but they said that. And at the same time, if you look at what the numbers were going to be and what they actually proved out to be, I had an issue with you saying you invested in the community. If I'm investing in you, then I'm going to give you the best I can give you. And I don't think they gave us the best they gave us from the beginning. You guys did a phenomenal, don't get me wrong, you did a phenomenal job negotiating, working through that process. And Dr. I appreciate how you work and you're sharing with that process. Phenomenal, because I look at my numbers and I'm thinking we need to be somewhere around 5.8, 5.9%. Because Oakland, well, the other one was at 6, and we got to be below there. So he really wasn't. Well, I understand. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But that was my issue with Oakland. They should have bought that from at the table at least 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. That's go high, I go low. Yeah, but if it's family, you're gonna give your family the best deal that you can give them. And that's what they said. They were committed to the area. Everything they were. Thank you.
Evidently they were what? I didn't hear that last bill.
Well, the question, or Mr. Vincent said that's what you do when you go out and buy a car. But what I said is I'm selling a car to a family member, I'm gonna give them a discount or break on that car.
Okay, got you. I heard you. I'm sorry.
And I don't think Oakland did that to us. Any other questions for me or Shannon? Shannon, would you like to add anything where you're at?
Basically, I mean, it's an all-inclusive contract, and I think the one thing that once the contract is written, that if this number comes in over, we basically locked them into the 18,350.
Right.
If it goes over, the percentage, unless we change scope, would not change fee.
And I think that's phenomenal because basically, if it goes over there, then their fee, what they're charging, goes down. So instead of at 5.8, it might be 5.5. So that's why I said kudos, great job negotiating there, trying to keep them in bounds. And that also takes into effect change orders. So it kind of encourages you to stay on time schedule and to eliminate change orders. So that was duly noted from the chairman about his change orders. So we had that as part of our negotiation. Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions from any other board member? This time I will entertain a motion to accept the contract Oakland Collier for the design services.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Sharp. I have a second.
Second.
second by Mr. Edwards. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No opposed?
Unanimous consent.
Motion carried. Thank you, both, Mr. Visit, Mr. Davis. Curriculum and instruction, remote graduation plan, senior grading, Mr. Thomas, information.
So good evening, Chair Lamb, Dr. Ellis, and members of the board. Tonight, I would like to present to you our graduation plan for 2020 and also talk through senior grading this year because of the COVID-19 epidemic that we have. First of all, I would like to say that we are very excited about the plan. As you know, our seniors have been through quite a bit this spring, and we feel like that we have come up with a good plan to recognize and honor our seniors. This year, we really wanted to do this. We have worked very closely with our schools in devising this plan, along with central office staff, who we are in processes now in the planning stage and, and working through this plan. So I wanted to first of all go through the plan. So this is going to be an individualized graduation ceremony at the school. Each student, each senior will have a designated time to report to the school where they will wear their caps and gowns and walk across the stage and receive a symbolic diploma at that time, because of course we won't be graduated, but they will receive their diploma a little later. We will ensure that all of the COVID-19 precautions are taken during this time. That's going to be our top priority, and all of the things that we need to ensure that, that safety happens with all guests that are there, and that we meet the 10 person per gathering rule as well. As the graduate walks across the stage, we're going to film the graduate receiving their diploma. Each graduate will have an opportunity to participate in this ceremony. Once the graduates have walked across the stage, we will take the video footage and edit the video footage so that the video footage looks exactly like graduation normally. We will have speeches at the beginning. We'll have all of the students walking across the stage. And then we will also, in the end, have the principal conferring the diplomas. This will be aired on their actual original graduation day at the very same time. We felt like this would be a good opportunity for our graduates to invite family over so that they can watch it together as a full graduation ceremony, and that they can enjoy that as a celebration with their graduate at that time. Some of the highlights is, of course, that our seniors will have the opportunity to wear those caps and gowns that they have purchased, that they really want to wear, that they've worked so hard to wear. During this time, we will also, the seniors will have an opportunity to wear their cords. There's cords that they have earned throughout the various aspects of high school, whether it's through classes, clubs, GPAs, various honor societies. We're very excited about that. Also, we're excited about our families once again being able to participate in the watching of the full graduation. I do want to go back just for a second within the actual ceremony. The graduate will have the opportunity to bring guests with them. It will be 2 guests. That's so we can stay under the 10 amount in the gathering of the room. We've looked at various graduation components, and we feel like that is the best number right now for our graduates. They can choose their parent, they can choose their guardian, or if they would like to choose a guest. That's up to the graduate. Our next steps within the graduation process is that right now our principals will be contacting our seniors and parents and to arrange a graduation time slot. And at that point, they will come to the school and they will film at the school. Logistics are being arranged right now for each student to be honored as far as safety. We're going to ensure all the safety pieces are in this process as well. Preparations are being made right now as far as the videoing of each senior and how we will do that. Also, the editing of the videos so that each one of our seniors are honored in the way that they need and are actually recognized in that honoring. And then the last piece is that our physical preparations are being made to ensure that a stage is set up, the school is set up so that the students feel that they are honored in that way as well. So I want to pause right there because next is talking through senior grading and ask if there's any questions as far as graduation at this time.
What is the anticipated date for graduation?
So the early college high school will be the 27th of May. And then Tar River will be the 28th. Northern Nash will be on the Rocky Mount's on the 29th. And also is Nash Central. Northern and Southern will be on the 30th.
So there's a possibility that 10, limited to 10 will be eliminated by that time under the grading criteria from the president and through the state.
Yes.
Assemblies may be able to be as large as 50. I would consider this an assembly, occupancy assembly. If that's the case, will we make some adjustments to this so these kids can have more kids there than just 2?
I think, are you talking about guests that they can bring with them? Yes, I think that's a possibility. I think right now we're doing it we're completing this off of the 10 just to make sure we are following that order. But I could see if it's moved. But the only thing right now, we're going to have to start filming this week, most likely to make this happen. So the thing that we will run into, we don't want for one set of students to have 2, and then we turn around and say the next set can have 10 or 5 or whatever. That's the only thing I see as a drawback to that. And the only reason we're having to start this week is so that we have enough time to finish so we can edit it and they have a full graduation.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Reggie Silver here. How many weeks are you allowing for this? It seems like that would take a lot of time. It sounds wonderful, but it seems like a long process here. How many weeks are you allowing for all this to transpire?
So for the recording taping, it's around almost 3 weeks. And then we're going to have about a week to edit that film. We have checked with all the folks that are going to edit. They feel like a week is sufficient time for that to happen. And at our schools, we are going to have some cameras there where the principals have flexibility of bringing students in so that they do not have to wait for someone to come there to film. We want to give them the flexibility to take care of that and to be able to bring their students in when needed. And the principals felt very good about this, that they could get this done. Well, like I said, this was a collaboration where our principals are all in on this. They were very excited. You know, our graduates, I know, are going to be very excited because they didn't even know if something was going to happen at one time. Yes, sir.
Which school has the largest graduating class this year?
So right now it would be Rocky Mount, and I think it's at 250. So we're looking at sections of 10 students coming in, but keeping them in separate rooms and only allowing the 10 into the gathering, and no more than 10, with the administrator and the student and their guest in there so that we meet the regulations.
I have a question. First, I want to commend you all with coming up with something. A lot of calls have been coming from parents and community people, so I am so happy you found a solution. Will that be staff from the schools that will be assisting with the taping of this? Or are you having some other people help you with that?
So we will have a video person per school who's designated. Along with that, we will have a set of directions to help them and support them exactly how to film so that we get the same angle at every school. And so we're working through those logistics right now so that we can support as much as possible.
Is Gary Hodges in the loop this year?
He can definitely be in the loop as far as the picture piece, and we have the picture piece. But we have not really brought him in right now as far as filming, but that doesn't mean we're not going to bring him in by no means. Because there's going to be some opportunities as well. What we're looking at is possibly outside of the school, still keeping social distancing, where there might be queue areas where students can take pictures and continue moving on so that they can actually have a picture of the school and in front of the school on their graduation day so that they feel like that's very special.
Our concern is that we were never given, Mr. Vincent, what you were saying. We just have not, we don't have a definite of how many can be. So we need to go ahead and do something. We've talked about, you know, if they lifted some, we talked about parades, having the kids, teachers out there lying around the school, just something to recognize these kids at the school of some sort. But we graduate so early, that's going to be the issue. So we're trying to figure out, this will be the video piece that they're going to keep, because a lot of, well, I'm not going to say a lot, only a few are doing drive-through graduation. I don't know how in a few years when they get older, what that's going to look like when you see cars driving through a school. But I know that when a kid sees a video, it's going to be of them and the family, you know. And then maybe if we can do something down the line with the parade and some of those, then we will. But you know, right now it seems like video is what we're doing because of our deadline. Because I know we're going to blow Tremaine's mind trying to get all this done, so we're going to try our best to start and move forward.
I just hate when you got a mother and a father,
oh yeah,
or step parents, siblings. In May 8th, the world's going to change. I mean, things are going to change coming May 8th. I just want to make sure we do all our due diligence to get grandma, brother, sister, mom and dad.
You have to also realize, Chris, if that changes, and I'm sure you have time frames as far as, I'm trying to fathom down, Rocky Mountain's graduating 250 kids, how long it's gonna take you to graduate 250 kids? Especially in one day, it's like all day long.
That is true. It will not be a one-day filming. There will be multiple days of filming. That's why we're going ahead and getting started.
So what I'm hearing then is you will have Rocky Mountain, I just told Rocky Mountain, you will have those graduation multiple days?
Yes, we will have students walking across the stage on multiple days because it's their individual graduation. Because we will take, let's say that we can do 50 in a day, but they will not all come at the same time, of course.
Right.
We'll do 50, and then the next day we'll do 50 more, whichever day the principal has worked out in order to get us the footage so that we can edit it.
It's beginning to make more sense to me now. I guess I was a little cloudy about trying to wrap this whole entire process around my head, but all the pieces now are seemingly to fall in place where it's making better sense to me now.
I would like to commend the principal and the staff for getting this together, because anything and everything I've heard tonight sure beats the heck out of virtual. Good job.
I have talked to many schools, many people from different schools about their plans for graduation, and some the principal is going by the home and they're putting out flags and all of that. But this plan by far outshines anything I've heard. Thank you all for all the work I know went into doing this.
And I'm excited about our principals taking this on and really taking the bull by the horns and really want to do this. So it's exciting to see them work.
So listen, when do you think you will have a schedule for this?
So we're planning on, I have a roundtable with the principals tomorrow. That's the start of this, and they will probably be filming, if possible, this week at the very, I would say by Thursday. They will probably be trying to bring some folks in.
Graduation. Oh, the graduation process.
You're talking about with them walking across the stage? Yes, we're talking about maybe Thursday or Friday of this week.
That's when you start.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible that we can have that schedule as far as, because we got 4 different schools?
Yes, sir.
To see when those schedules are gonna be, and I know you got time frames for students coming in, but.
Yes, sir.
Need to be in their way, Bill.
Yeah. And we,
Don't worry about it, it's too long to do.
That's just recording. He's
yeah.
taking his grade.
And then now this will just be recording at that time. It will not be full graduation.
Right.
measurement. So. All right, so the next part of this presentation is senior grading. I just wanted to run over from the policy that we've received now for senior grading. Our seniors will receive a, it's called a PC-19 or a WC-19 only this year for spring semester. They will not receive a numeric grade. This is a statewide policy. PC-19 means you receive credit for the course. A WC-19, they call it a withdrawal. It just means that you do not receive credit. It does not mean failing. It just means there were some circumstances there that you need to withdraw from the class and you did not receive credit. Now, the special date is March 13th. That's been the cutoff day for grades on all levels, grade levels. And so if a senior was failing, and that's what we call T3, term 3 grade, as of March the 13th, then through remote learning, that senior has had an opportunity to make that grade a passing grade so they could receive a PC-19 and receive credit for the course. We have put together some credit recovery and some other things so that those students we've identified them immediately, and they do have the opportunity to take care of that. So each student in the end on their transcript and report card will receive a PC-19 or a WC-19. I wanted to provide you with that tonight.
How are the seniors looking as far as passing rate? I mean, the number's not graduating, is it alarming or?
It's different. Are you talking about as of March 13th, or you're talking about it through remote learning? Through the end. So right now it varies. We're still working with a lot of students. I can get you those exact numbers. Yeah. So what we did is an analysis as of March 13th, how many students were passing and were failing. And at that point, principals devised a plan for each of those students. So they're ready to go in the end if they complete all of the work throughout the rest of this semester.
I'm just curious to see whether or not, non-graduates are maybe hired in the traditional year or about the same or less.
Right. It's a different year, and it's just going to look different from what we have to do with the BC and the WC-19. Yeah. Yes, sir.
How do you foresee, maybe not will this impact college entry?
So DPI has been working very closely with colleges, the actual independent colleges and our UNC system. So they are fully aware of this policy. They know exactly what's going to be on the seniors transcript. It's not going to be a surprise. Same thing with NCAA. If we're dealing with athletes, they know that this is a worldwide epidemic. And so they are really honed in, and that this will not have an effect on our seniors as of those local universities and state universities.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
I have a question. Mr. Thompson, what are we doing, or how are we doing those students? I think in the guidelines that the State Board of Education put out, I tried to pull it up just now and I couldn't pull it up quickly enough, but somewhere in those guidelines, it said that the student could choose whether he takes a letter grade or the WP or WC, or surely he wouldn't choose a WC, but the WP, we're not allowing that.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. If you allow me, we're going to cover that in the next segment because that's 9th through 11th graders. as far as seniors themselves, they can only take a PC-19 or a WC-19. But now we're going to talk about a different ballgame with 9th through 11th graders. And we're going to talk about that in our next segment with Ms. Nancy Smith as well. Is that okay with you if I cover it there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Nancy Smith.
Evening, Chairman Lamb, Superintendent Ellis, and board members. Mr. Thompson and I, at this time, will talk to you about statewide grading policy for our kindergarten through 11th grade students due to COVID-19. Our state leaders believe that it is paramount that statewide guidance is provided for grading during COVID-19. In an effort to make sure grading is equitable, it is very important to the state that a student does not fail during COVID-19, and also that students' grades are held harmless. Recommendation for grades K-5. Grades K-5 will not receive a final grade. So what this means is grades will not be taken for term 4, but teachers will provide year-end feedback for students regarding learning from the full academic school year using a format that is determined locally by the district. So the principals have been given 3 different recommendations. They will choose one of the recommendations tomorrow by close of business, and then we will be ready to share those recommendations. Teachers will document also individual student strengths and needs, both based on academic and social emotional perspectives to ensure effective transition during the 2021 school year. So how will this look different for our middle school students? Mr. Thompson spoke to you about PC-19 and WC-19. Our middle school students will have that same option. A student's grade, again, will be held harmless for learning after March 13th. PC-19 will be assigned to any student who was meeting expectations and passing the course as of March 13th, or who worked to improve their grades during COVID-19. WC-19 will be assigned to any student who was not passing the course. WC-19 will be assigned to any student who was not passing the course as of March 13th and who was unable to improve his or her grades during remote learning. A middle school grade of WC-19, and this is very important, does not equate to failing the course, nor does it indicate that a grade retention should occur or that the course must be repeated. What it simply means is that there is lack of evidence that the student has mastered the standards that have been addressed. Just as in K-5, in middle school, 6-8, teachers will document individual student strengths and needs from both academic and social emotional perspectives. Again, this will help teachers as students transition into the 2021 academic school year. So as you notice with our elementary and middle school students, it is imperative that we look at the whole child, we look at academics, but also how the child has fared socially and emotionally during this traumatic time. Due to COVID-19, NCDPI has developed a new grade scale in power schools to move from pass-fail to pass-withdrawal. Again, PC-19 and WC-19 have been added to power schools. Mr. Thompson will talk to you a little bit more about students who take high school courses in middle schools.
Okay, so our next segment will address our middle school students who take high school courses. Plus, this will be the same for our 9th through 11th grade grades. So the difference here is that 9th through 11th grade students do have options, and also middle school students taking high school courses. The options are, number one is that the 9th through 11th graders have the option of taking their numeric grade as of March the 13th, or as it improved through the semester with remote learning. This will count in their GPA. This will, of course, count as a credit. The only one that it will not count for a GPA in is the middle school student, which never has. The middle school student taking high school courses is only for credit, not for for GPA purposes. The second option the student will have to choose is they can report that they want a PC-19. The WC-19 will still be there for if standards were not met. Once again, it does not mean failing, but their WC-19 will not receive credit. Once again, these students will have two options at the end of the semester, and that is to either take the numeric grade that counts in the GPA or take a PC-19 that counts as the credit but does not count in their GPA. Ms. Bullock, I know you had questions, so any questions, I will be happy to answer now.
The only other question that I have is, and maybe I don't need to ask this question online simply because you've not, well, I don't know that I need to ask the question. I'll ask it of you or Dr. Ellis tomorrow. It's something that I want to know personally, so I'll ask tomorrow. I'm fine with the other.
Any other questions, your board member?
I got one.
Okay, Ms. Davis?
What are you going to do with the grades of the seniors, super seniors at the early college?
So they will receive, right now, the college is actually not reporting numeric grades. So these students will receive a PC-19, just as our other seniors on that. So at this point for the spring, the college is utilizing, I think they're doing a pass-fail at this point. And so we would assign a PC, for their high school transcript, we would assign a PC-19. Any other questions?
Would that be the same thing for the college career promise kids?
Yes.
So they won't get the numeric.
They would not receive for the spring semester. They will for the fall, but for the spring, it is what it is. But for the spring, they will receive a PC-19 as a pass.
And that was one reason why I asked the question about college inside of back then.
Yes. No,
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Now we have Great Minds Instructional Resource Contract Addendum, Nancy Smith.
evening again, Chairman Lamb, Superintendent Ellis, and board members. As you recall, last year, we adopted new resources in grades 4 through 12. So tonight, I will talk to you about an addendum to the Great Minds Purchase and Sale Agreement. The strategic priorities are high student achievement, and priority 5, transparent organizational culture, effective use of resources. During the 2018-2019 school year, new rigorous instructional resources were vetted and adopted for implementation during the upcoming school year, which is this school year, for all 4th through 12th grade students in social studies, science, reading, math, and world languages. Social Studies Weekly was the only new resource added to the elementary instructional repository for all K-5 students. The 6-year adoption of Envision Math sunsets June 30th, 2020 for our K-3 students. To ensure vertical alignment in teaching math skills, concepts, and strategies from one grade to the next, the existing 4-year Great Minds contract is being amended to add Eureka Math in kindergarten through 3rd grades district-wide. This also includes our dual language classrooms. Fiscal implications. Presently, the purchase and sale agreement with Great Minds is for $489,530. The original agreement includes reading and math core instructional resources for 4th and 5th grades only. The agreement will increase to $915,237. Payment installments are due each year by July 31st for the duration of the contract, which sunsets April 30th, 2023. Are there any questions?
This time I will entertain a motion to accept the Great Minds Instructional Resource Contract Addendum.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Carr, second by
Second.
Ms. Chavis. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
The superintendent recommends the school board's approval to amend the Great Minds contract. Thank you.
Finance, Ms. Jack.
Good evening, Chairman Lamb, board members, Superintendent Ellis. I present to you tonight the 2019-20 budget adjustments that we've received since the last board meeting during the month of April. It is in compliance with strategic priority 5, transparent organizational culture, effective use of resources. NRMPS will exhibit excellence in financial and facility planning, management, and stewardship. We have adjustments, actually received planning allotments from the state, from federal, and adjustments in local. Those allotments were for program we refer to as PRC 63, and additional funds for COVID-19 supplemental funds. The adjustments for the exceptional needs program, PRC 63, is $10,041. The funds for COVID-19 supplemental funding is $582,022. And for the federal adjustments, we received $3,499 for additional to program 104 for grants and adjustments within the purpose codes, moving monies from one place to one fund to another to comply with grant specifications. The financial implications is that we are always planning or want to make sure our budget is accurately reflective of all the budget amounts so that we know where we are fiscally, financially. And the superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the funding revisions, budget adjustments included in Amendment 2 as presented.
This time I'll entertain a motion to approve budget amendments number 2.
So move.
Second. Motion by Mr. Sharp, second by Ms. Washington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise, motion carried. 2020-2021 proposed budget recommendation. Mr. Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Finance Committee meeting met earlier this week to actually look at the proposed budget. You have it in front of you as far as what the recommendations are. I'd like to just acknowledge Ms. Garrett and her staff for doing a phenomenal job as far as establishing that. Not only they do the recommended part, they went over above, and if you notice the presentations on the new logo. So we're really excited about that. So Dr. Ellis, your team, great job there. We mauled around this budget on this past week to present to the full board, and you have before you. I'm going to ask that you would just review that. You should have already reviewed it. Ms. Garrett, if you would please just highlight anything that stands out with you that needs to be discussed, that would be greatly appreciated.
As we discussed on Thursday of last week, this is a unusual time, of course, with COVID-19, but also in the fact that North Carolina school districts were already experiencing severe economic uncertainty due to the absence of an approved state budget for 2019-2020. The legislature still has not provided approval of a budget. So legislative decisions that increase state teacher salaries will have a significant impact to the district costs. We already are experiencing the impact of cost increases in the local budget, and the fact that the rate for retirement has increased from 19.7% to 21.44%. And the medical cost has increased from $6,306 a month annually to $6,647 annually. Those increases are included in the proposed 2020-2021 budget. And we have included those and will fund those by not hiring a vacancy in C&I. So that is, then we also included the appropriation that we requested to reinstate the band funding. And there is the $10,000 that is to be awarded for 2021, also budgeted in the proposed budget. So those are the highlights. Any questions?
Any board member have any questions for Ms. Garrett?
And the superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the 2021 proposed budget as presented.
I will entertain a motion to accept the 2020-2021 proposed budget recommendation. So, motion by Mr. Bizzett.
Second.
Second by Mr. Sharp. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed likewise. Motion carried. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, before she leaves, I think we're doing tomorrow, Dr. Ellis' presentation with the county commissioners. One of the things I'm really excited about this presentation with the county commissioners, as you know, in the past, we have presented a lot of information to our county. And we've seen how when Nash Community College or the other would present 1 2-page documents. This year, our board is presenting what the county commissioners give to the board, the expense and income for what their portion only. So that's really exciting, and Ms. Jarrett and Dr. Ellis did a phenomenal job presenting this and getting it together, presenting to the county commissioners. So I think they deserve a starting thank you for doing that and saying that.
Thank you, Mr. Strong. Now, Superintendent's report, Dr. Ellis.
So I was going to briefly comment on the passing of Miss Edge. I just want to make sure, she's going to be surely missed. Her legacy she left on our school system is priceless, and she will be remembered. She was a great educator. I just wanted to bring that up tonight. So keep that family in your thoughts and prayers. Also, I'd like to recognize, and I hope I can recognize all these fabulous people that have been helping out during this pandemic. School nutrition, transportation, maintenance, instructional services, technology, student services, communication, central office. They have all answered the call during this pandemic. And I just want to say thank you. They have done a great job. You can tell the presentations tonight, there's been a lot of thinking going on in this building. Last week was Administrators Week. I just want to thank the principals for all their dedication and leadership during this tough time. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And although kids are not in the building, we still need to find a way to recognize these teachers, because I'm sure they didn't sign up for this at the beginning of this year. So I know we're going to try to do something at the central office, but I know principals have a lot of things they want to share with their teachers. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week. And lastly, I just want to thank the community and the local organizations. They have been helping us, giving us information. And it's a testament how the community supports these students. So I just want to thank everyone for that. So that's my report.
Thank you, Dr. Ellis. For my report, I'm going to start off by reading a resolution of esteem for former Nash Rocky Mount Public Schools Board of Education Vice Chairperson. Whereas our Heavenly Father, in his infinite love and wisdom, saw fit to call home Miss Ann Elizabeth Price Edge on April the 22nd, 2020, and whereas she was a faithful and active vice chairperson for the Nash Rocky Mount Public Schools Board, and whereas her service to the educational system of our state was a living testimonial of her integrity and skill, and whereas her loss will be deeply felt, not only by those whom she served, but throughout her entire community and state. Now therefore be it resolved that Nash Rocky Mount Public Schools goes on record in expressing a sense of real loss and regret in her passing, that a copy of this resolution be conveyed to her family as an indication of our deepest sympathy, and a copy of the same be filed as a part of the permanent records of Nash Rocky Mount Public Schools. Thank you, Ms. Edge. Job well done.
Amen.
At this time, I will entertain a motion to elect vice chair.
Mr. Chair, I would like to nominate LaShonda Washington.
I second that, though it's not needed.
Okay, the motion for LaShonda Washington. Any other nomination?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Chris Bissett.
Any other nominations? I move that nominations be closed. All in favor of LaShonda Washington, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
this is Lank. I vote in support of LaShonda Washington.
Okay.
Bill Sharp votes in support of Sean Washington.
6. Okay, Chris Visit. Raise your right hand. 4, LaShonda Washington is the new vice chair of the Nash Rocky Mountain Public Schools. Congratulations, Ms. Washington.
Thank you, everyone.
You got big shoes to fill.
Amen.
This time, schedule upcoming meetings and important dates. June work session, Monday, June 1st at 5 o'clock. June board meeting, Monday, June 1st at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Franklin, I'm sorry. I've got Mr. Silver, Reverend Silver on the phone, and he said he was unable to vote. How did you count him?
I thought I saw his hand. Maybe I didn't. Okay, ask who he voted for.
You saw his hand for which person?
Audio's breaking up.
I just want the minutes to be accurate.
Sarita call names maybe for the vote. That way she's got it recorded
The
accurately.
only one I thought I saw, the only one I'm unsure of is Reggie. He needs to just tell us who he voted for.
Okay, so Mr. Silver, how are you voting? Who were the two? I'm sorry, it was LaShonda Washington and Chris Bissett. I voted for LaShonda Washington. He was attempting to vote for LaShonda Washington.
Okay. LaShonda's vice chair.
So LaShonda won by a vote of 6-4. Mr. Lamb, was his vote?
Yeah.
It was counted towards LaShonda?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, perfect. So okay, great. And Tremaine, just so you'll know, Mr. Silver said he got bumped off and he was unable to get back on.
Okay, thank you. I'll check on that.
Okay.
Down to the June work session, Monday, June 1st at 5.
And do you want to
And regular board meeting again at 7 o'clock. Unless things change, and if things continue like they are, we will continue meeting at 6. Mr. Sharp?
Mr. Chair or Rod, what's the protocol, what's the process of filling the 11th seat on the board?
Okay, I'm sorry. So are you asking me or are you asking Franklin?
You, whoever is going to share information.
Hold on, Reverend Silver. So the seat is filled by the Board of Education itself. The only requirement is that the person that fills the seat has to live in that district, since you run by districts. I think that what the board did the last time is you had a window of time for people to submit applications of interest or letters of interest. The board then interviewed the people who were interested, I think at a special meeting, and then you voted as a board to elect, one of the people who applied.
Okay, so we do a publication, right?
And can I also add to that it depends upon how many applicants we get as to whether we interview all of them or not?
That is correct. I think that particular time you got 5 applications and you interviewed all 5. But it is certainly conceivable that a board could have more interest than they would have time to interview, and you could certainly whittle the number down and interview only a portion, depending on how many people express an interest.
Yeah, that's what we did when we had a lot of applicants in the past.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ron?
And I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, Mr. Silver is trying to say something through my phone, if that's a possibility.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Um,
I just wanted to join my team in appreciating Mrs. Edge. I think I missed a part of the agenda, but we just appreciate her so much. That's all I really wanted to say. I'm good.
Could you hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, they heard you. All right. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to add tonight? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second by
Ms.
Mr.
Jada.
Gator. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, likewise. Motion carried. Thank you. Everybody stay safe.
Yes, you too. Bye, everybody. Stay safe.